Never lie to me, I'll never hurt you. One word answer. Is Vakwa alive or dead?
Vin Diesel has built a career around playing larger-than-life action heroes, and one of his most underrated franchises is finally getting another chance to find a bigger audience. While he was already voicing Groot in the MCU, his superhero movie Bloodshot had terrible timing because it arrived right as the pandemic shut theaters down. The movie struggled at the box office even though it later found plenty of viewers through streaming. Now something similar could happen again because Diesel's entire Riddick trilogy has landed on Netflix, giving a whole new bunch of people the chance to discover one of his coolest sci-fi franchises. It also helps that Karl Urban is part of the series, and his popularity has exploded over the years thanks to The Boys. The Riddick movies have always been a perfect fit for Vin Diesel because they play to all of his strengths. He has made a career out of portraying tough characters who rarely waste words but always leave a strong impression. Whether he is playing racers, soldiers, anti-heroes, or fearless warriors, loyalty and survival are usually at the center of his characters. Riddick fits that mold perfectly because he is dangerous, mysterious, and always fighting against impossible odds. Across all three movies, the franchise has earned around $267 million worldwide, while the third film alone made close to $98 million from a production budget of only about $38 million. That made it a much smarter financial success than many people expected. Back in early 2023, a fourth movie was officially announced, but even after 3 years, there still hasn't been a release date, leaving fans wondering when the next chapter will finally arrive. As of June 1, 2026, all three live-action Riddick movies are available to stream on Netflix. That includes Pitch Black, The Chronicles of Riddick, and Riddick. Together, they tell the story of Richard B. Riddick, a notorious criminal with extraordinary survival skills who constantly finds himself hunted by bounty hunters, trapped on deadly planets, and surrounded by terrifying alien creatures. But the story slowly becomes much bigger than simple survival because Riddick eventually gets caught in an ancient prophecy that could determine the future of the entire galaxy. Every movie expands the universe a little more, making the stakes larger while still keeping Riddick himself at the center of the action. Even though the franchise has developed a loyal fan base over the years, it has never been treated like one of Hollywood's guaranteed blockbuster series. That is one of the biggest reasons why every sequel seems to take forever. After The Chronicles of Riddick was released in 2004, the movie faced a major problem. Its production budget reached roughly $105 million, but worldwide earnings only climbed to about $115.9 million. Those numbers were enough to make studios nervous because the profit margin simply wasn't impressive for a film that expensive. Instead of turning into a massive franchise overnight, Riddick became more of a cult favorite with passionate fans rather than a dependable blockbuster property. Because of that, the strategy completely changed for the third movie. Rather than trying to make another giant sci-fi epic, the filmmakers decided to scale everything back. Riddick, released in 2013 after a 9-year gap, returned to a smaller survival-focused story that felt much closer to Pitch Black. Its budget dropped dramatically to around $38 million, making it far less risky. That decision paid off because the movie earned almost $98 million worldwide, proving there was still a dedicated audience for the character even though the franchise wasn't competing with the biggest Hollywood blockbusters. That same situation seems to be affecting Riddick Furya. Although the sequel was officially announced in 2023 and plans were made for filming in Europe during August 2024, the project has continued moving much slower than fans expected. International financing and distribution deals reportedly helped push production forward, but a firm release date still hasn't been announced. There are several possible reasons for that. Independent financing often takes longer than major studio productions. Post-production on science fiction movies can be expensive, and Vin Diesel has continued balancing work on the Fast and Furious franchise. Every time a new Riddick movie gets made, it requires careful planning because the franchise doesn't have the automatic financial support that bigger blockbuster series enjoy. Still, the good news is that Riddick Furya is officially happening. Development has been underway for quite some time, and the long wait appears to be bringing the franchise back in a much bigger way. Fans have followed Riddick's journey ever since Pitch Black introduced him in 2000 as a dangerous criminal being transported to an off-world prison. Everything changed when the transport ship crashed on a hostile planet, crawling with deadly creatures that only hunted in darkness. Riddick's unusual abilities allowed him to survive where almost everyone else failed, instantly turning him into one of science fiction's most memorable anti-heroes. One of the biggest reasons the franchise has remained popular is the creative partnership between Vin Diesel and writer-director David Twohy. Twohy has directed every live-action Riddick movie, helping maintain a consistent tone and style across the entire trilogy. That partnership is continuing once again because David Twohy is returning to direct Riddick Furya. Fans have waited for more than a decade since the previous installment, so expectations are naturally high. But the details revealed so far suggest that this won't simply be another survival adventure. Instead, it looks ready to answer some of the biggest questions that have surrounded Riddick since the very beginning. Production on Riddick Furya officially began on August 26, 2024. Vin Diesel even shared behind-the-scenes photos from the set through his social media, giving fans their first proper look at the sequel in production. One image showed Diesel fully dressed as Riddick while sitting behind the wheel of a dune buggy crossing a massive desert landscape. A camera operator was sitting beside him as the crew prepared to shoot another scene. Although the exact location wasn't confirmed, the landscape appeared to match the harsh environment of Furya, the legendary homeworld that has been mentioned throughout the series. While Vin Diesel's return has always been guaranteed, the rest of the cast remains a mystery. No additional actors have officially been announced yet, but there are several familiar faces who could potentially come back. That twist opens the door for a completely new conflict, while also giving audiences a much deeper understanding of Riddick's past, his people, and the world that shaped him long before the events of Pitch Black. Another interesting clue came from a storyboard image that Vin Diesel shared online during production. The artwork showed Riddick wearing a spacesuit with a surprised expression, while the caption read, "Scene 10, the boy's eyes shine just like Riddick's." That single line immediately caught fans' attention because it strongly hints that the movie will finally explain one of the franchise's biggest mysteries. Riddick's glowing eyes have helped him survive countless deadly situations, especially during the events of Pitch Black, but their true origin has never been fully explored. Introducing another character with the same ability could finally reveal where that gift came from and why it has always made Riddick so unique. After waiting more than a decade, Riddick Furya has the chance to deliver answers that fans have wanted for years. Although the delays have been frustrating, the return of David Twohy, Vin Diesel's continued passion for the character, and the decision to finally explore Furya suggest that this sequel could become the franchise's most important chapter yet. And with the first 3 movies now streaming on Netflix, a whole new audience can jump into Riddick's story before the long-awaited 4th installment eventually arrives. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.